WRWH back with you and ready to continue on with our forums tonight, our second in the series of forums. And this is for the candidates who are seeking the office of Sheriff of White County. And we have with us the candidates, Sheriff Rick Kelley and challenger Robert Morin. And we're glad to have you all here. And, of course, y'all have already been given the instructions and you know the rules and such. You have 2 minutes to have an opening statement. We do question and answer. You have 2 minutes to answer questions. And then at the end, get 2 minutes for a roundup or a summation of your thoughts at that time. So let's get started. As we did earlier, did not come up with any particular way to start with the opening statements and everything. But Robert, I'll let you. Oh yeah, we'll remind you about the lights behind we have back here. These are your 2 minute warning. You have a green, you have a yellow, and a red. So watch those lights, and that'll help you to know how to finish up your comments. Once you see the yellow come on, it's time to start wrapping up. Okay. All right. Thank you for both of that. And thank you, Samantha. All right. Robert, we'll let you, if you want to, start off with your opening statements.
Okay. I'd like to thank y'all for putting on this forum, giving us a chance to come in and give you our views. My name's Robert Morin. Most people know me by Bobby. I've been with my wife, Meg, for now 24 years as of yesterday. We've got 3 kids. Back in 2008, we moved to White County. Fell in love with the place. We had to take some time off for family reasons and go back to Florida. We came back here just over 2 years ago, and just glad to be here.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, Rick, we go to you and your opening statement.
Okay. Well, I'm Rick Kelley. Thank you, Dean, here at WRWH, White County Chamber, and the White County News. Thank y'all for hosting this. But I am a lifelong native here in White County. Born and raised, graduated White County High School. Graduated from North Georgia College with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. While I was at North Georgia, I put myself through the police academy. My wife, Starla, and I, we've been married close to 19 years now. We have a 8-year-old son, and I'm a member of Cleveland First Baptist Church. I serve on several boards here in the community, the South Onota Child Advocacy Center Board, White County Family Connections, and I serve on the Appalachian Regional Drug Enforcement Board. Member of several civic organizations, including the White County Rotary Club, Yona Lodge, Yerub Shrine, past president of Alpine Shrine Club, and I'm an active member of the Georgia Sheriff's Association. I've got started with the Sheriff's Office in 2003. Started working in the jail, kind of worked my way up through the ranks, and finished there about 3 years serving as division commander over the investigations division. And I ran for office and was elected sheriff and took office January of 2021.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll start off with our question, and for each of the candidates, and again, 2 minutes you have to use, if you need that, to answer the questions. And Rick will start off you with answering the start off answering that first question. And what are your qualifications for Sheriff of White County, and what makes your experience unique?
Well, I'm a lifelong native here in White County. I've got a bachelor's degree, like I said, in criminal justice. I've spent my entire career at the White County Sheriff's Office, so I've worked through all the divisions of the office. I've seen the Sheriff's Office of the past and how we've grown today and into the present. I've got advanced certifications in supervision and management through post, and I've served these last 4 years as sheriff.
All right, Robert, your answer to that question.
I got my start in law enforcement in 2012. I put myself through the academy. I started my career with White County under Sheriff Neil Walden. Due to some policy issues, my son was a jailer at the time in the White County jail as well. I relocated to Harris County, Georgia, where I served under Sheriff Mike Jolly. I love my job, and I want to see the county move forward. We need to grow as a sheriff's office. Needs to grow with the county.
Okay, thank you. All right, Samantha has the next question, and Robert, you'll start off answering that.
What do you hope to achieve during your tenure as sheriff, and how do you envision making a positive impact in our community?
One of the things I'd like to achieve, which I'm going to put at the top of my priority list, is we have a ever-growing drug problem in this county. Drugs are not racist. Drugs affect everybody. It doesn't care what your financial stability is, where you're at with the county. As a citizen, this affects all citizens in this county, and that's something we need to address before it engulfs this county.
Okay, thank you. And Rick, your answer to that.
Repeat the question.
What do you hope to achieve during your tenure as sheriff, and how do you envision making a positive impact on our community?
So since I've been sheriff, we've added 2 K-9 deputies to our patrol division. We've upgraded the camera system at the jail. We've added an X-ray machine at the courthouse. We've added body cameras to our deputies, educational tablets for our inmates, installed remote video visitation at the jail. We've added mobile dispatch terminals to our patrol cars. We've started a Citizens Law Enforcement Academy, and we've added 4 SROs to our schools. Second term, my goals are to enhance our drug education program in our schools, to expand our inmate labor program, and for us to obtain accreditation through the Georgia Sheriff's Association for our agency.
Okay. All right, next question, and Rick, you start off answering on this. The question says, if you had $3 million to use in the department in any way you prefer or you see fit, what would you do with that money?
I would add some personnel, and I would increase our pay for that money, and I would also spend some of that money on our drug education and really enhance education programs all through our schools.
Okay, and Robert?
I agree with Sheriff Kelley. We need to get the pay up with the deputies. We are not compatible with hardly any of our surrounding counties. It's bad that you can work in this county, but you can't afford to live in this county. Deputies are on duty 365 days a year, and they need to be compensated for that. I agree with the drug program. If we can start at the lower ages of our kids and bring them up understanding what drugs are, what drugs do to you, and the consequences that go along with that, I think we'd be better off.
All right, thank you. And Samantha, next question you have there, and Robert will start off.
Hey, Robert, how do you plan to involve businesses in crime prevention efforts and community safety initiatives?
I think one thing that the sheriff needs to do with the sheriff's office is we need to have a better partnership with our local businesses. The sheriff's office can't see all crimes. We don't have the kind of personnel to see everything that's going on in the county. With a strong partnership with our businesses and our citizens to call in and feel that their concerns and their voices will be heard, we can address crime as a community and not just as a sheriff's office.
All right, and Rick?
Yeah, so our businesses, we've started a Citizens Law Enforcement Academy, and we have several other community outreach programs, and we've had some of those business owners in those programs, and I think it's a great way for the businesses to understand more about what the sheriff's office does and what we look for in the community, and they can help us be our eyes and ears when we're not around.
Okay. Thank you. Next up, the question is, what measures will you take to ensure officer accountability and conduct?
Yeah, so we've since I've been in office, we've added to help with transparency. We've added body cameras, and that has been a huge thing. We hold our deputies. We hold them to a higher standard than most people do. We hold accountability, and those body cameras are really a good tool for us to use to help with transparency and to help hold our staff accountable for their actions.
All right, Robert.
If elected sheriff, I'm going to bring transparency and accountability. Yes, we do have body cameras for the deputies, but at this time we do not have in-vehicle cameras, and that's an officer safety issue. So that is something also that we would have put into the all patrol cars and all vehicles at the sheriff's office. We need the in-car video, and that will help with accountability.
Okay. All right, Samantha, you got another question there?
What initiatives would you implement to ensure that deputies receive ongoing training and development opportunities?
What I would do is set up 2 weeks out of the year and do that preferably on the short week of the deputies. And we would have training for one rotation on that short week where they can get all of their training in that is required by the state, plus send them out for additional training to further their education of the growing law enforcement community.
Okay. And Rick, your answer?
Yeah. So currently currently our deputies are going through the basic 10-week academy class, and the academy that we're using out of Forsyth County adds on a 6-week additional training to their certification. So they come out of the academy with several advanced certifications when they hit the street. So we have seen a big plus to that. That's something that we want to continue. That's something Forsyth County had put together, and they had determined that it would take a deputy about 3 years to get all those advanced certifications, and Forsyth County has added it, basically crunched it into 6 weeks and added it on to the end of the academy. So those deputies that are coming out are trained with all those advanced certifications.
Okay. All right, we're moving right along. Next question, and Rick, you'll start off here with that. The number of workers for businesses are sometimes limited due to drug use, including legalized drug use. How do you suggest the business and the sheriff's department work together to help our citizens understand that drugs are negatively impacting our communities?
Education is the key to the drug issue that we have. It's not an issue that we can arrest our way out of. We make numerous arrests. I think we made 126 drug-related arrests last year in White County. But education is the tool, and that's something that we can add into our community outreach programs with our business owners, with their staff, to educate them on the type of drugs, the drug trends that we're seeing out in the community, and I think that would be a definite benefit.
All right. And Robert?
Would you reread the question one more time?
All right, yeah, that is a long one. The number of workers for business is sometimes limited due to drug use, including legalized drug use. How do you suggest that businesses and the sheriff's office work together to help our citizens understand the drug use negatively impacts our communities?
Well, with drug use, you bring not only with the drug use, but you get crime that comes with it. And what the sheriffs ought to do is work with different churches around the community, with counselors that can work with the businesses on people that do have drug addiction, that are maybe coming off of that and they're trying to straighten their lives out. A good counselor that they can go sit down and talk to help them work through these problems. Education from elementary, all the way up through high school is another way to help combat the drug addiction problem in this county. Education is the key to it, and our kids are our future.
All right. Well, thank you. All right. Moving right along. Samantha, next, your question.
Employee retention is a challenge for all employers right now, Robert. What do you think could help with employee retention in the Sheriff's Department?
I think with retention, I guess the best way to say it is before you build a house, you have to have a strong foundation, which means you got to have strong leadership to build that foundation. Once you get your foundation built, the people that work with you as part of your team will look at you knowing that at any given time you've got that uniform on as the sheriff, and if duty calls, you'll be out there in the trenches with them. So leadership is a strong part of retention.
Okay. And Rick, now.
Yeah. We try to promote a family atmosphere at the sheriff's office when we go through our hiring process. We've hired a lot of new young faces to the sheriff's office lately. Retention, years ago, loyalty went a long way. Nowadays, it's pay, and they say pay's not everything, but pay's a lot of it. And until we can get our starting pay up to where it's competitive, it's going to be hard to retain employees. And our funding source comes from the Board of Commissioners, and it's important that they realize that.
All right. Maybe the next question, y'all have already, we talked about that earlier, but maybe readdress it here. But Rick, how would you promote accountability and transparency within the Sheriff's Department?
Well, that starts with our hiring process, and then our policies and procedures that we have in place to ensure that those are followed. Supervision classes for our supervisors to make sure that they are following up, reviewing body cameras on incidences, making sure that if they do see violations of the policies, that those are addressed. And supervisors carry a lot of that in the agency.
All right. And Robert?
I believe one thing that that people need to realize is, as a sheriff, you are elected by the citizens of this county. The citizens of this county every 4 years elect you to do a job. I've told people that I've talked to, just because you get a title, it don't mean you're entitled. Everyone from the sheriff, myself, on down will be working. You can't know what's going on in your county if you're sitting in the office. So that will help with accountability out on patrol. When you've got chief deputy, you've got the sheriff, patrol captain, patrol lieutenants, sergeants, all working together out in the community to ensure our safety and security.
All right. Thank you. Samantha, next question there you have for Robert.
Okay. Can you provide examples of your experience in managing high-pressure situations effectively?
While I was with, when I first started with White County Sheriff's Office, my FTO was now Sergeant Mark Taylor. And right after I start, there was a shooting in the county, and that was one of my first experiences with that. I learned a lot under Sergeant Taylor's tutelage during that time. When I was a deputy with Harris County, I've caught armed robbery suspects, multiple drug arrests, DUI arrests, and it can go south real quick. So it's a constant learning that you do as you grow in law enforcement.
Thank you. All right, Rick.
Can you repeat the question?
Can you provide examples of your experience in managing high-pressure situations effectively?
Well, when I was in the investigations division for 6 years or so, I was the sergeant in investigations, working several high-profile cases that involved a lot of time work, hours on end working cases, and then managing other investigators that were in the office at the time and carrying a caseload. So all that can be pretty overwhelming for somebody to handle, but that would be my example.
Okay. Well, I think we've moved along pretty fast here. We got about time for one. Let's do one more question if you want to. We do have some time here to throw that in there, but I'd like to, and Rick, we'll start off with you. How do you prepare, or would you prepare your department for handling emergencies and crisis situations?
That would go through training and preparation ahead of time, going over various different scenarios. Like we go through active shooter training every year at the school, or school resource officers goes through training at the schools during the summertime. So as much training as you can do to prepare for different scenarios, the training and preparation is vital to, if an event happens, that we're able to handle it successfully.
Okay, thanks, Robert. Your answer.
Yeah, one more time.
All right, yeah. How do you or how would you prepare your department to handle emergencies and crisis situations?
I think one thing you'd have to do is you'd have to have designated commanders that go through crisis training on the state level. Have them on call, take turns with them on call. So once a crisis does happen, you can set up a command post, and you have somebody that's in charge that directs all the other officers on what their role is going to be in this crisis. So training, constant training on that would be a benefit to the county.
Okay, thank you. All right, based on time, and Samantha, if you have any other questions you want to ask, we'll get into the closing comments.
I think we're good. We can go.
All right, we'll go into closing comments from each of the candidates. And Robert, since we started with you, we're going to let Rick start off with the closing comments, so you get the final say over here. Rick?
Okay. Well, White County's my home. I'm vested in this community. I've dedicated my entire career to the White County Sheriff's Office. I've never left to chase a dollar. Since I've been in office, we've added K-9 deputies to our patrol division. We've upgraded the camera system in the jail. We've added an X-ray machine at the courthouse. We've installed educational tablets for the inmates, installed remote video visitation for the jail, added mobile dispatch terminals to our patrol cars. We've started a Citizens Law Enforcement Academy along with several other outreach programs. We're more involved in the community now than we ever have been. My biggest accomplishment is the school resource officers. We've added 4 of those. That is huge for this community. My next term, I want to enhance those programs and also enhance our drug education in our schools, expand our inmate labor program, and work on achieving accreditation through the Georgia Sheriff's Association. I've got a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from North Georgia College. I've got advanced certifications in supervision and management. I've got experiences in all the divisions at the Sheriff's Office. I think when you put me next to my opponent, I've got more education, more experience, more training, and more dedication to the citizens of this great county, and I've worked hard for them for the last 4 years, and I want to continue working hard for them for another term, and I would ask for your vote for sheriff on May the 21st. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Robert, now you get to your closing comments.
All right, so the platform I'm running on is proactive patrol, proactive enforcement, crime suppression, and traffic enforcement. As your sheriff, my top priority will be to address ever-growing problem with the drugs that are plaguing this community. In my first year of office, I want to reduce crime by 10%. So a statistic on that, each county in Georgia is given an overall crime grade. White County's crime grade is a C+ currently, and is in the 49th percentile, meaning that 51% of the counties in this state are safer to live in than White County. Research conducted by Dismute Law Firm for drivers aged 65 and over. Citizens 65 and over in White County involved in traffic accidents from 2017 to 2021 were 34% likely to be involved in a fatal accident. White County was ranked number 1 in the nation at 34% with over 1,200 counties surveyed. Program implementation provide better service for businesses by re-implementing business checks during all hours, day and night. As your sheriff, I will lead by example, not from behind a desk. If elected, myself and the White County Sheriff's Office will be accessible to citizens with an open door policy so all citizens can have their voices and concerns heard and addressed. As your sheriff, I believe citizens deserve a sheriff and a sheriff's office that is ready to grow with the county and be proactive and out in the community, ensuring the safety and security of all citizens and visitors to our lovely community.
Okay, thank you, Robert. All right, and both candidates are Sheriff Rick Kelley and Challenger Robert Morin. Thank you for being here, participating in this forum. All right, you're welcome. Any other Samantha?
Thank you guys for participating, and thank you, Dean, for hosting us.
All right, glad to do that. Yeah, Kayla? Nothing from there. All right, we're going to wrap it up here with that, with the candidate forums here on WRWH, again, sponsored by White County Chamber of Commerce, White County News, and local news radio. We thank you for joining us and being a part of that, and encourage you to get out and vote. The early voting starts on April the 29th.
Cinnamon battered French toast.